Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the third round of the ANZCRL Combined Racing League European Le Mans Series. We're here at the Mugello Autodrome in Italy for what is looking to be another brilliant night of racing in these Le Mans Prototype 2 cars. Championship leader and the fastest driver on the circuit at the moment is, as always, Dread 000001. Who has absolutely dominated the championship so far, and tonight looks to be no difference. He was about a second clear in practice and he's now 7/10 up in qualifying. And we have Dark Racing 40 in second at a track which looks a bit the renaissance for these RWD cars that have struggled so far this series, but it looks like this is the round that they're going to come alive. Third place at the moment is CMDR Cyrus. He actually had a few issues last week. Wasn't able to make many inroads at Monza, a track that he was looking quite strong at. He was fancying himself for a podium finish, but didn't get that. And we're looking to make amends this week. Aussie Carters and Gokekos in the Ligier Judds, 4th and 5th. Have been super consistent. They had a brilliant battle last week. And Aussie Carters came out on top in that inter-sibling battle. And we'll be looking to see some more fireworks again here tonight. Kyle Blake, he's in 6th at the moment. He actually ran out of fuel, which was very unfortunate for him, as that gifted a podium finish to Blake Orban, who hardly put a foot wrong last week, and he'll be looking to make amends here tonight. Loft Vanish was one of the other unlucky drivers at Monza last week, disconnecting on the opening lap. And oh, there he goes, he spun. There was a similar tail in practice for Loft Vanish. His car seems to be very unstable. That's a big hit. Don't know who that was. It was a green car. There goes Darky off, so all the cars are spearing off at the moment, which is unfortunately very tough. These cars seem to be very temperamental around this Mugello circuit. They use very high speed. But the guy that's got it all under control is Dread, who's got it sideways as we said that, but he's 9/10 clear of Darky in second, so he's lighting up the timesheets as he pulls into the pits for... So his qualifying is done. Aussie Carters will be trying to get himself up onto that front row. We'll be home 5th. Can Jado improve? Dado was the fastest driver. He's the fastest driver in practice, but now it looks like he's struggling to get any leeway with his times at the moment. He's stuck in the 36s. Metal Drive and Whopper were the fastest qualifiers in our Lobby 2 pre-qualifying. They'll be looking to make a bit of an impact tonight, but at the moment 11th and 12th, so those boys are starting to struggle. Or are struggling against the drivers in the top lobby. We have Jado and Dread in the pits. Darky's still circulating. He's come towards the end of his lap, just a few corners to go. He's around this right hand hairpin, followed by a quick left right sort of chicane. Bit wide for Darky there. He comes around to the final corner that really opens up on exit. Again, missed the apex, but it's probably not going to hurt him too much relatively. Blast down the start finish straight in these cars, which Darky and Dado's cars have been the fastest in a straight line so far this evening. Checkered flag is out for the end of this session. Dark Racing 40 will have one final lap as we go on board with him. Suppose not going to be good there with the countdown timer on the bottom right of your screen. He's gone super deep into these corners. And he's missing a few of the apexes, so he's actually struggling with the balance of this car at the moment. Just can't quite point it where he wants it. He's running a little wide with understeer there. That's going to hurt his time. Maybe the tyres have overheated just a bit too much. Comes in the right left sweeper here. Just carried too much speed to the right hand. It's compromised his exit. And it's moved away from that apex. As it goes left, it goes right. Blast down to the final hairpin, final corner of this lap on the brakes. It rolls it through. You got a trail brake in. Bit wide for Darky, but he opens up on exit. Hasn't quite used the road, and he's coming to the pits now. So that's his qualifying lap done and dusted. Gogeko, his qualifying's done. Here's Whopper, just finishing. That's the end of qualifying. So it's Dread on pole. Dark Racing 40 in second place. Aussie Carter's, he's got himself into third. Gogeko's got himself in fourth. CMDR Cyrus has fallen down the fifth. Whopper's done a spectacular job. He's got himself into sixth. Lofvanish down in seventh with Kyle Blake in eighth. Jado ninth and Dado poor qualifying for him. He's in 10th. Blake Orban in 11th. A drop down from his pace at Monza. Metal Drive, he's in 12th position. And if you're from the Australia-New Zealand region, then check out our website at oz-nzcrl.weebly.com. We have a list of leagues on Xbox on the Project Cars 2 platform for you guys to check out, and we're currently in the middle of our European Le Mans series. And then at the start of June, on the 7th of June, we will have the Formula Renault 3.5 Gold Cup, which starts on the same weekend as our Indy 500 special event held on the 6th of June, that I'm sure will be broadcast here on Twitch. The Indy 500 race last year was an absolute cracker. We're a month out from that now, and I'm already looking forward to that. As the drivers are on the grid now. They'll be filling up the cars. It's a 1 hour and 10 minute race, so I assume a pit stop will be needed. And they'll be looking in the pit stop to just top the car up with fuel. Don't bother with the tyres. Just fill up the car and go. Dread has been outstanding so far this series. Dark Racing is returned to form this week. He's had a tough start to the series, and now he's got himself in a real chance to finish on that podium. And if you want to look at the previous races in this championship, when this tonight's done, do check out our official YouTube channel. We have every stream or every race that we've done this year in the top lobby has been saved and archived on that YouTube channel, so you'll be able to check out all the best racing from our ANZCRL Combined Racing League as the drivers start off on their formation lap. Championship standings at the moment is Dread leading the way. He's on 102 points. Aussie Carter's is in second. He's on 83, so he's 19 seconds behind already. Got Gecko, he's third, 76 points. Dark Racing 40. He struggled at Monza, but he's still fourth in the championship, 72 points. Kyle Blake is in fifth, he's on 62 points. He's 10 points behind Dark Racing. Dado Racer is in sixth on 58 points. Right Sire, who is not racing in the top lobby tonight, he's in 7th on 56. Jetto is 8th, he's on 51 points. Blake Orban is in 9th, 41 points. Whopper in 10th, he's on 40 points with Loft Vanish. He's 11th on 37th. Illogical Sports is currently in lobby 2 tonight, so his points tally will probably most likely be hurt. The same with Nürburger in 13th. Seam Cyrus, he is down in 20th place in the points, so he's only on 15 points. He'll be looking to make a bit of a comeback. And Metal Drive, he's currently last at the moment, he's on 27 points. So he's got a long way to come back as well. It's a pretty long circuit, this Mugello circuit. It is 5.2 kilometers in length. Originally built in 1974, replacing a road course, a 66 kilometer road course that they used to run way back when. Now Mugello is most known for hosting the Italian Grand Prix for motorcycle racing, the Italian Motorcycle Grand Prix. Very popular one on the MotoGP calendar is this Mugello circuit. Current lap record in a DTM car is by Timo Schneider. F2's the lap record set by Mike Thackwell in 1984. MotoGP's set 1 minute 45s, which these cars are going quicker than that. In fact, the overall lap record is in a Group C car, 1985, by Riccardo Patrese. The drives are about to start. There's the lights. It's green, we're underway. Dredd leads the way, it's going to be going 3 wide as they run down the straight. It's Dado. Golgecko's got ahead of Dredd. Aussie Carter's down the inside of Dredd. There's 3 wide. Loft Vanish has got his nose in there as well. Loft Vanish is trying to sneak through. Aussie Carter's has lost out big time now. And Loft Vanish has been turned by Aussie Carter's. He's in the wall. Quite hard, he's gone back to the rear. At the moment it's now Darky with then Golgecko, Dredd. Aussie Carter's is in 4th. Kyle Blake is in 5th with Sam Dalcyrus is down in 6th. It's actually side by side between Kyle Blake and Aussie Carter's. Kyle Blake run understeers and into Aussie Carter's. Aussie Carter's has been in the thick of everything at the start of this race. Aussie Carter's down to 5th. Kyle Blake up into 4th. It's now Golgecko and Dark Racing racing together at the front. Aussie Carter's is trying to catch back up to Kyle Blake. The run down towards the end of the circuit. Now through the Bondetti chicane. They're about to conclude lap 1. Dredd has fallen back. He's 2 seconds behind these guys. But you'll expect Dredd to catch him up in the next few minutes as he starts getting his rhythm back. He got thrown out at the start. The cars behind really got the jump as Dark Racing's actually got himself a penalty. He's already got a time penalty. We're only on lap 1, so he could lose out big time at the end of this race. It's pretty tight at the top. Metal Drive is right behind Jetto. And Whopper's had a poor start. He's lost 4 places already off the start. And Loft Vanish is in the pit lane. He'll be getting that damage. He hit the wall very hard. Tried to go side by side with Aussie Carter's and they just got together and the end result was Loft Vanish into the wall. But still out in front, Dark Racing 40s had a brilliant jump from 2nd place. Read the lights beautifully and got ahead of Dredd. Dread, the big loser. He dropped 2 places from pole position. It was the same case last week where he got swamped at the start. Actually fell back to 4th at the start of the Monza race for round 2, but managed to claw his way back, and by the 10 minutes in he was back in the lead. Aussie Carter's, he's had a poor start. He started 3rd, he's now back to 5th, so he got stuck on the outside at turn 1. And now he's looking like he's struggling to make inroads. But now we've got a 3-way sort of tussle now for first place. Dark Racing, then Gog Echo. Dread is starting to pick the pace up now. And Dread will start putting the pressure on Gog Gecko. Down the main straight they go. Into turn 1. There's a couple of battle packs currently going at the moment. It's Dread and Gog Gecko, Aussie Carters and Kyle Blake, Dado and CMDR Cyrus, and Metal Drive and Whopper. Trying to keep an eye on the deltas for you guys so that you don't necessarily miss anything that's happened, but we've got quite a few battles. Actually, Dread has sort of dropped back a tiny fraction, but still near enough to put the pressure on Gok Echo. Gok Echo, of course, cracked under the pressure of his own teammate at Monza last week. He actually gave up the lead by making a mistake at that second chicane at Monza. He would have been spewing, and his focus this week was to not let himself crack under the pressure. But he ran a bit wide there. That is could potentially set himself up to be overtaken. But Dread is not far enough up. There's actually now a 3-way battle for 5th place now, as Aussie Carters has gotten past. It's gotten past Kyle Blake, so Aussie Carters now into 4th. It's now Kyle Blake, CMDR Cyrus and Dado. 4th, 5th and 6th, all pretty close, but it's now Dread right on the back of Gok Echo. Gok Echo's got himself a penalty now, so he's not yielding at all. Now Dread's got the run, he's in the slipstream of Gok Echo. Gok Echo will have to defend for his life. Dread looks left, goes to the right. Does he have the momentum to go around the outside? It's a very long corner, turn 1. Can he set him up for a switchback? No, Gog Echo defends beautifully well. At the start of lap 4 now. Gog Echo's going to be a busy man for the next few minutes as he tries to keep Dread at bay. And Dark Racing 40 will be enjoying this. He's now streaking away from Gog Echo. He's under immense pressure. Kyle Blake, CMDR Cyrus and Dado sort of spread out for a little bit. Dado's still right behind CMDR Cyrus. And Metal Drive still right behind Jetto. So there's still a few battle packs going on at the moment, which is good to see. I had my doubts about Mugello being a good racing track, but the drivers has shown us how it's done, as Dread has sort of fallen back just a little bit. It's now out to 7/10, 6/10. Somewhere around there, so looks like Dread has just struggled just a fraction. It's been a lightning start, and it's very unfortunate for Lot Vanish, who I think looks like he's a lap down at the moment. So he has his work cut out to try and claw his way up from last place. As here we go, Dread. He's in the slipstream again. Does he have enough momentum to dive it down the inside? No, he does not. Doesn't quite. But you can see how strong that slipstream is. They just keep creeping up and creeping up and creeping up. They're running bumper to bumper at the moment, trying to pass each other. Gogega trying to keep Dread at bay. Dread the series leader at the moment. Of course, he has been dominant for the first 3 races. Dread has an hour to try and get himself back up into that lead position that he's been so comfortable with, so used to in this series. He was quick in the Formula Fords, but he hasn't been as dominant as he has been. But Dark Racing 40, he's got a 3.5 second gap on Gecko, so he's still pulling away. Metal Drive still battling with Jetto. That battle for 5th is sort of spread out just a little bit. It's out to about 1 to 1.5 seconds. Still pretty close, but they're not looking likely to make a move. But look at this, Jed, he's very close. He's the closest he's ever been. Gecko's got to defend the right hand side. It's going to be so tough to pass around the outside here at turn 1. Dread goes deep, so does Gecko. Can Gecko hold it? Dread tries to go around the outside. They almost touch. Dread had to back out of it as Gecko made a little twitch. And Gecko holds on for another lap. It's been an enthralling battle so far. Metal Drive has still been unable to make a move on Jetto at the moment. Jetto's just been quick enough. Seemed Cyrus is falling back now, so he must have made a little mistake because he's got Gecko and Dread's actually falling back now. These drivers are making just little mistakes. Dread hasn't been as dominant as what he has been in the past. Dark Racing 40's lead's now picked out. It's now 4.5 seconds. So he's streaking away, and this will be frustrating Dread, as Dread wants to get past Gecko so he can try and hunt down Dark Racing 40. Into the final corner, and Gecko's got a bit of a buffer now. He shouldn't be challenged as they head down the pit straight and down towards turn 1. It's now 6/10 the gap. He's closing with the slipstream also slightly, but that prototype of Dreads has a lot of aero added to that car, so it's can be very tough for Dread to make any sort of get some overspeed down the long straight. But Dread benefits in the corners, but it's been so hard to pass. But Orica Nissan of Dread 501 has been so tough to pass at the moment. It's hard to get around Gecko. But look at his Dread. He's built the momentum back up. He's back right up behind Gecko's. Dado Racer is now in the pit, so he's had a moment somewhere and has hit the wall, and that'll be a repair job, and that will light up the eyes of Loft Vanish. Here we go, Dread's going to apply the pressure once again. It's got so much car speed. So they approach the final corner now. Dread is looking. Can he point that car in better? Looks like Gecko had a bit better turn. But look at this, Dread is so close now. He's right in that slipstream. Can he get some overspeed and pull alongside? Gecko once again has to defend that right hand side. Gecko's trying to go to the right, he can't, so he moves left. Gecko, Dread is the deepest of all. Going right around the outside, but he just can't quite get up there. Gecko actually just ran a little bit wide there, so there's an opening for Dread. But if you can put your car in the right positions and not make the mistakes, you can defend quite well here at Mugello, and this is exactly what Gecko is doing. Look, Vanish up to 11, Dado down to 12, so Dado's had some serious damage. But with these two squabbling, that has meant that Dark Racing 40 is moved out to a 7-second lead. And Dredd has now had to drop back to a second, so every time he goes for a move, he just seems to lose out just a little bit. Gecko's doing a very good job at defending his second place, but for how long will he be able to? There's been no changes in the other positions. They're starting to spread out just a little bit. As we go into this race, more and more drivers will make mistakes. This is an enthralling battle. As we will jump on board with Dredd. Do we see just how well the slipstream will go? Just doesn't quite get as much speed down the straights as what that Ligier Judd in front of him is able to do. But the Orica Nissan is so much faster in the corners, it has a lot more downforce, and it's been really helpful in this series. But too much downforce is no good if you cannot get your way past the cars in front. Dredd's best chance of getting past will be to perform the undercut. He'll have to pit as soon as he'll be able to. When that is, I am not quite sure. That Orica Nissan is the only car in the field that does not have a roof. Which some drivers do prefer that when they sit in the car and feel the wind on the face. Just here's some bad news from Nürburgring, who accidentally left the session at the end of qualifying. And we've actually seen two drivers disconnect. That's Datto Racer gone, and someone else is gone, but here we go. We'll have to see who it is later. But now let's jump on board with Dredd once again. How close is he now? Can he make a lunge? He's looking right. He's trying to show the nose, put the pressure on Gecko, but Gecko's having none of it. But yeah, we've had two drivers disconnect from this session already. Which at the moment I don't quite know. I know Datto Racer is one of them. Was a Meta Drive. And Whopper, we've just seen, yeah, it's Whopper. So Whopper and Datto Racer both disconnected from this session. That is a bitter pill to swallow, especially for Whopper, who needed the points to try and leapfrog himself up the championship table. And now he's not going to get any at all. Still been an enthralling battle. Dredd is still within 7/10 of Gecko. But being stuck in that dirty air, I reckon it might be killing his tyres just a little bit. Let's bring up this telemetry. Can Dredd get the move done now? This is all, his speeds are all slipstream assisted. 275, 270. He's getting up to 280. 285, he looks right, he goes super deep. Can't quite be able to do it. But let's go for a lap with Dredd as we follow the Ligier Nissan of Gecko. just saw a little mistake there from Gogeko. There we go. Dread goes side by side. Can Dread make the move this time? Who's the last of the breakers? Gogeko still got the nose inside, but looks like Dread's got the move done. He finally has. All it took was a little mistake from Gogeko. And now let's Dread finally through. And now he can pull away now. Gogeko will be kicking himself. And maybe Gogeko just needed to force the issue just a little bit more. But now Gogeko's got some clear track. Flashing the lights in celebration. As he now charges his way and will look to close the gap on Dark Racing 40. As Dread now will make the most of the clean air. But it's the key for Dread to not allow himself to have gotten too frustrated. He hasn't necessarily made inroads this lap on Dark Racing 40. Gogeko's hanging in just a little bit, but he's fallen back. He's now out to 1.5 seconds. The gap between Dread and Dark Racing 40. As Dread that time has set a faster lap than Dark Racing 40. So that starting to close in now. Now look at this battle is resumed. Metal Drive vs Jetto, a battle that we haven't necessarily been able to see much of due to the battle for second place. But now that Dread is through, we can now have a look at this as Metal Drive. Doesn't quite have that same... creeping up over 280, but he's not making many inroads in the straight line on Jetto. And that's Metal Drive wide, he's trying to push too hard. And that's allowing Jetto to stay out in front. It looks like Loft Vanish in the lead, so he's starting to catch these guys that are battling. And he'll be frustrated that he'll have to sit behind these guys and wait for the battle to subside. So they come through, they've just gone through the fast right-handers into this right-left sweeper. The right-left sweeper. The right-hander called Scarperia. Turn 11, Pelagio. Now going through Corinteo. I'm going to forget the pronunciations of these names because I am not Italian. Into the final corner they go. It's still 6/10, so they just can't quite. Metal Drive he's just been holding speed with Jetto. And has been almost all race now. And Loft Vanish has been closing up. He's closed up massively on that last lap. It was 2 seconds faster than these guys on the previous lap. So he'll want to get through as quick as possible. And Jetto's actually made a mistake there. Metal Drive has gone down the inside. They've gone side by side as they approach turn 2 now. Can Metal Drive hold it? Jetto's got on the grass and Metal Drive is through. He's up into 7th place. Loft Vanish has taken the invitation. He's unlapped himself from Jetto. And now he's got to go get past Metal Drive. And then he can start closing in. And Blake Orban. So this fast right-left sweeper where understeer is severely induced. Wheel on the grass there for Metal Drive. But he managed to keep it on the road. I'm sure Loft Vanish will be trying to prove his superior car speed. To this right hand hairpin, the final right hand hairpin on the circuit. Through the left right chicane. And into the final corner they go. And that's a car off the road there. That's CMDR Cyrus. So Metal Drive is now into 6th. Cyrus down to 7th. There's another place made, and now Jetto will be licking his lips and trying to get up and past Cyrus before Cyrus can get his rhythm back. Lofanish applying a lot of downforce, as I've had the telemetry up for far too long. That's what happens though when you have to do everything at once. But we've got 46 minutes left of the ANZ Combined Racing League European Le Mans Series. Round 3 action at the Mugello GP circuit. Home of the Italian Motorcycle Grand Prix. But we've got some four-wheel action here using the Le Mans Prototype 2s. And Jetto and Cyrus are now going to battle it out by the looks of things. Cyrus needs to get his rhythm back up so he can pull away and try and close down on Metal Drive. As the gaps are going in and out and in and out. But at the moment, Dark Racer 40 is only a 5.5 second gap on Dread, who is absolutely flying at the moment. Dread was 1 second faster than Dark Racing 40 on the previous lap. Got Gecko's fallen back now, he's in 3rd. And Aussie Carter's is in 4th, 6 seconds behind his teammate. Kyle Blake is in 5th, another solid showing from him. Metal Drive, he's done a ripper job. He started last, remember, in 12th. He's now in 6th, a gain of 6 places. CMDR Cyrus is starting to go backwards, he's in 7th. Jetto in 8th. Blake Orban, he's in 9th. Not quite showing the same speed he did at Monza last week. And Lofanish, he's in last of the current runners. Of course, we've had Whopper and Datto Racer disconnect. But at the moment, the hard charger is Dread. He is showing why he's been the man to beat so far this year, especially in this European Le Mans series. We'll get another lap time check, this time by as he crosses the finish line. Darky did a 35.6. Dread's done a 34.8, not quite the same gain that he had on the previous lap, but even still, he is absolutely flying. That number 61 Orica Nissan, it's been the dominating car this season, though Dread is the only one that's been able to unlock the secrets of it. And it's paid dividends. He's had 2 race wins from 2 pole positions. He's got himself a 3rd pole position today. Can he convert that to a 3rd win? Well, he has to get past Dark Racing 40. The gap is down to 4.5 seconds. So it is closing by a second just in the first sector and a half. It's now less than 4 seconds now, so Dread is really on it this lap, and Dark Racing 40 just can't keep that speed up. Dark Racing 40 he will start feeling that pressure in a few laps time, or even less than that. It is 3.6 seconds now. The gap keeps coming down. On bonnet cam now. Got multiple cameras that we can use throughout the race weekend. Dread is just under 34.5. Dark Racing only a 36.1. It's 3.5 seconds now. The gap keeps closing. And at some point, there he is. Dread can now see his prey. It is 3 seconds up the road and closing fast. Dread will be licking his lips But we saw when Dredd was up behind Gokeko, it took forever for Dredd to get past. Will Dark Racing make it even harder? We have time penalties that will be applied at the end of the race. Dark Racing 40 1 second, Gokeko 2 seconds, Kyle Blake 1 second. That's what happens when you start pushing those limits, especially on that opening lap. But now the gap, it's sort of stabled this last lap and a half, or half a lap or so. It's now 3 seconds, just dip below as they come through the final corner. 41 minutes left in this race. And Dredd is closing and closing and closing. He loses a bit of time in that on that straight, but he makes it up in the braking zone. He just deep brakes so much later than anybody else. And he just has the ideal lines. Look at that, he's hitting every single apex. Dark Racing had a much better lap on the previous time. It was a 35.1, but still not as quick as Dredd, who did a 34.6. The gap just keeps on closing. Those two corners there are where Dredd is gaining so much more time than Dark Racing 40. I was half a second that time by. And Dark Racing is no slouch. So that shows just how optimised the setup on this Oroka Nissan is. 2.4 seconds the gap now. It is closing at an alarming rate to knots for Dark Racing 40's liking. Through the final corner. Down the long straight. 2.2 seconds the gap now. We keep counting it down. 39.5 minutes left in this race. They've started lap 20. It's sort of, the pace is stabilising just a little bit, but Dredd was a whole second faster than Dark Racing 40 on that previous lap. He is charging. He's charging hard. And not even a brick wall, I reckon, can stop Dredd at the moment. He is in such form that we haven't seen in ANZCRL Combined Racing League for so long. All the racing last year was very close. There was always 4 or 5 people in it with a shot at winning a race. Now it seems like only one man, this man, is the man to beat. It's now 2 seconds the gap. The gap has been stabilising just a little bit. It's been coming down, but not as quickly as it had a couple of laps ago. Has approached the end of yet another lap. It is now 2.1 seconds, 1.9. Dredd is just able to go so much deeper and able to hold it in all the corners. There's Blake Orban in the pits now. Is that his mandatory pit stop? Dark Racing 40 has actually been picking the speed up just a little bit. It was only a 2/10 difference in lap time on the previous lap, but Dredd is still charging. He's still creeping up and closing in. Although it may start frustrating Dredd as to how much slower he seems to be catching Dark Racing 40. He wouldn't necessarily know that he's been catching him every single lap. He's now 1.3 seconds, so he gains so much time just in the fast corners alone. which shows to me that that car of Dread has been optimised so much for high speed cornering. It's where you can get the biggest gains in the high speed corners, often more so than you can realise. But spare a thought for Darky. Dark Racing 40. He's driving as hard as he possibly can, and he just does not seem like to be enough. It's about 1.5 seconds now. But Dread is still so much faster. There was a 7/10 gap on the previous lap. It's getting closer and closer and closer and closer. Though it doesn't necessarily look like it, so maybe the times have been a little misleading. Well, the gap's just been a bit generous. It's currently saying 1.5 seconds a gap. It'll close through that right left fast sequence. Didn't close by much, only closed by 2 tenths. Kyle Blake is in the pits. That promotes Metal Drive up into 5th. We just see that little caution light saying that there's a battle. It's the first time that's appeared on our screens for a long time now. It's now creeping up around about a second. Dread will be starting to get into slipstream range. But he'll also be getting in range of the Dirty Airs. Dark Racing 40 has actually come into the pits, and Dread has stayed out. So he's going to go long, and he's going to try and get the overcut to try and jump ahead of Dark Racing 40. And there's another car coming out of the pits. That'll be Kyle Blake. He's come out. Kyle Blake has come out of the pits. 1 lap behind. As we jump on board with Dread yet again. We'll bring up the map to see where all the drivers are. Whopper has left the session. So that's Dark Racing 40 still in the pits, you can see there. The closest white dot is Got Gecko. He's stayed out, so is Aussie Carter's. Dark Racing 40 has actually just turned blue. He's still in the pit lane. So the pit stops are taking a very long time to do. Dark Racing is now out of the pits. He's at turn 1. Look at that. Dread was able to go 1 lap longer on his fuel, but he's going to be coming into the pit stops. The crew's ready. And we'll see where Dread comes out. Has he been able to optimise his pit strategy to make sure that he's able to jump ahead of his rivals? He's in the pits now. There you see Dark Racing 40's dots just turned white. He's closed in. He's on this side of the lap. As the pit crew have sort of derping out just a little bit of my screen. But here's the critical one. It's Dark Racing 40 is nearing the end of the lap. Got Gecko and Aussie Carters. They've gone into first and second. They've got getting much better fuel mileage than the rest of the prototype runners. Looks like Dread is on the move now. In fact, Dread is almost exiting the pits, and Dark Racing 40 has only just entered the main straight. It is a massive jump by Dread. He's been able to optimise his strategy brilliantly, and he's also gotten out ahead of Metal Drive, who's also going long in this race. So Dread has pulled out a massive gap on Dark Racing 40. That is well over 5 seconds the gap. And Dark Racing 40 will be wondering how all the time just got lost. Your current race leader at the moment, though not the race leader under the corrected results. God Gecko is still continuing. Aussie Carters, he's coming around the final corner now. Will he be making a pit stop soon? These drivers will be getting very low on their fuel. Aussie Carters continues on also. It's Dread currently in third. Metal Drive is falling back. Dark Racing is in fifth. Dark Racing in effective second place. Though with that longer pit stop, he might be under pressure from Gokeko. We have 30 minutes left in this race to go. These guys have been circulating for 40 minutes. And they've already done 25 laps. Here we go, there's a car in the pit lane now. That will be a retired car. So that is probably Datto Racing. That will be Datto Racer that is sitting in the pit lane. So he must have been forced to retire from the race. Jetto's in the pits now. So that's given CMDR Cyrus that 6th place. And that's Loth Vanish in the pits for his final pit stop. There's Gokeko. Gokeko's into the pit lane now. So he's making his mandatory pit stop now. He's got to top up for fuel and try and get to the end. And Aussie Carters is continuing on, so he's got much better fuel mileage than his brother. And he'll be trying to jump Gokeko by putting in less fuel. Wonder how where Gokeko will turn out now. Putting in less fuel than the other drivers. Can he jump Dark Racing 40? Dark Racing 40 is still coming up. He's coming up to the final corner now. Gecko is still in the pit lane. So he must be changing tyres as well. Dark Racing 40 is now creeping up to Metal Drive. Dread has passed Gecko. Metal Drive has passed Gecko. And Dark Racing's past Gokeko. There's Gokeko exiting the pits now. So Gokeko's also lost out. And now we wait for Aussie Carters to try and, well, to try and put less fuel in the car and get a jump on some of his rivals. Going through the final corner now. Painted in the Italian colours. And Aussie Carters is continuing on. He is still charging, he's in the lead. He's going to put even less fuel on. Is he gonna risk it? Dark Racing 40 is now behind Metal Drive. He wants to get past Metal Drive as quick as possible. He doesn't want to be hurt and fall behind Aussie Carters. As he rounds the final corner, he needs to get that slipstream. No, it's Metal Drive into the pits now. So Metal Drive is pulled into the pits when he was in third. He gives that up to Dark Racing 40. Got Gecko into fourth now. And now we wait for Aussie Carters We need to see what he's doing. Come through the final right-hand hairpin. He's got 3 corners left. Forward the main pit straight. It's Mel driving CMDR. Cyrus is back into the pits, so Cyrus is having a horror race. Here's Aussie Carter's. He's into the pits as well. So this is telling. As Aussie Carter's going long, will that benefit him come the end of this race? Will he be able to jump Dread or Dark Racing 40 or his teammate Got Gecko? Got Gecko is 12 to 13 seconds behind Dread. Dread coming around the final corner now. Aussie Carter's still in the pits. He's not moving, so Dread will take the lead. There's Dark Racing 40. He's come around the final corner now. What's Aussie Carter's doing? He's still in the pit lane. Dark Racing 40. He passes the finish line now. And Dark Racing into second place. So Dark Racing hasn't lost out from what looked like a longer pit stop. Possibly to change tyres. There's Got Gecko's passed as well. So Aussie Carter's has not benefited at all from going long. And there's Kyle Blake. He's a long way back. So Aussie Carter's will come out in 4th place. There he is. He's out of the pit lane. He's on the track now. On the main straight. And so he played a very cautious game by the looks of it, to stay long in case he did get caught up in an accident. So at the moment, Dread is your race leader. Dark Racing 40 is in second with Got Gecko in third. Aussie Carter's 4th with Kyle Blake, he's in 5th. Metal Drive, he's done a ripper job. Started 12th, he's now in 6th. That internet is making him look wider than he is. Jetto, he's in 7th with Blake Orban, he's in 8th. CMDR Cyrus, he's had a horror race. He's down into 9th place, and Loft Vanish hasn't been able to make inroads at all. He's in 10th place. It shows that opening incident with Aussie Carter's on lap 1 has really hurt his race. Big time. And this Dread is catching up to lap Jetto. Jetto will need to recognise this. Let's get an update on the penalties. And that CMDR Cyrus that has picked up a penalty. But all the drivers have been able to keep it relatively clean thus far. We have 23.5 minutes to go in this race. They are on lap 29. Or Dread absolutely sideways and just managed to get past Jetto. He's got a 9-second margin on Dark Racing 40, who in turn only has a 3-second margin to Got Gecko, 4 seconds now. Aussie Carter's is a long way behind these guys now, so he lost a lot of time. He might have still been carrying damage from that contact with Loft Vanish on the opening lap. And CMDR Cyrus has just passed Blake Orban. Orban going slowly. Does he have a problem? That will be a heartbreak if he does. It was a massive surprise story last week. Is he going to come into the pits? No, he's not. He goes down the straight. And who's that behind? That could be Kyle Blake. No, it is not. It's not Aussie Carter's. It must be Got Gecko then. And it is. Oh, and he's hit. They just hit by the looks of it. It could have been a bit of lag, making it seem like there was contact. That was really, really close by them. Looks like they've got away with it though. Got Gecko in 3rd place. He missed out on the podium last week, I believe. He got caught up in he just made quite a few too many mistakes last week. In fact, got Gecko 6th last week after qualifying 2nd. It wasn't the result he was after. But he's driven a very solid race. Sort of cracked a bit under pressure when followed by Dread. He was able to hold up Dread far longer than what Darky was able to. Dark Racing, of course, lost out with Dread employing the overcut strategy to blast past Dark Racing 40. Sort of settled down at the moment. Got Gecko's flashing his lights at CMDL Cyrus to try and let Cyrus know to let Got Gecko through. He's trying to chase down Dark Racing 40, but it's been ballooned back out to 5 seconds. Dark Racing has been probably the 2nd best driver tonight. Dread, once again, has just been on another level, consistently faster than the other drivers. In fact, now he's almost got a 10-second lead. He almost just back off and drive at 90%. And he should be able to cruise home comfortably now. There is less than 20 minutes left in this race. Thank you for tuning in to this ANZ Combined Racing League European Le Mans Series race. Very action-packed at the start. In fact, there's another battle starting to kick off now. Blake Orban and CMDR Cyrus are going to be battling it out for the minor placings, 8th and 9th. Blake Orban was flashing his lights just before, just to let CMDR Cyrus know that he's coming, he's going to attack, he wants to try and distract. There he is, he's flashing his lights again. He's trying to distract CMDR Cyrus. It worked for Dark Racing 40 last week with the headlight flashing. Will it work here? Blake Orban 3 seconds faster than CMDR Cyrus on the previous lap. CMDR Cyrus struggling at the moment. He might have even suffered from the cold tyre glitch that has been prevalent in this series for him so far, which has been very unfortunate. But sometimes you just gotta stick on the wets. These drivers, well, the leaders are on lap 32. And as we approach the end of the race, we'll be able to see whether the race strategies for all the drivers work out. Dread got a massive time advantage over Dark Racing 40, so I don't know if he severely underfueled his car, or if Dark Racing was changing tyres or if Dark Racing 40 was getting damage repaired, because that was a massive swing for people pitting 1 lap apart from each other. Blake Orban still in 9th place. He's fallen back behind CMDR Cyrus now. They're going back and forth at the moment, and now Blake Orban has to let through Aussie Carter's. But he hasn't done so yet. There we go, Aussie Carter's now through. So that's another lap down for Blake Orban. from 4th place. Vanish will be kicking himself. The lap 1 contact has cost him his entire race. He could be up. He had some good car speed all race, but he just keeps falling back, and he's still more than a minute and 12 seconds in fact, behind Blake Orban. Gecko is now falling into the clutches of Aussie Carter's. It's 8.7 seconds the gap. Aussie Carter's is charging. Gecko's actually made a massive mistake on the previous lap. A 1 minute 45 is very, very slow at this time of the race. He's clumsily got past CMDR Cyrus. Cyrus has made a mistake. He's gone slowly. That's going to give Blake Orban another chance to try and get that 8th place back. This time Blake Orban has to make the most of these opportunities. They're not going to come very often at this end of the race. Around the final corner and down the long pit straight. He's flashing his lights, but you might want to focus instead on flashing the lights and more about focusing on your lines. Make sure you're driving the optimum line down the straight. Make sure you're hitting your braking marker. You're hitting every apex, maximising the speed of your car. If you're just hitting buttons willy-nilly, it's going to come round to bite you on the rear end. And we've just seen another driver disconnect now. That's Vanish. He's gone. He's out of this race. So it's the 2nd race in a row that he will not have finished. Vanish will just hope that he's completed 70% of the race distance so that he can be classified and score points, because he really needed the points haul after a shocker at Monza where he disconnected on the opening lap. CMDR Cyrus has run wide. He's on the grass, and that's Blake Orban. He's now into 8th place. Kyle Blake has now pulled into the pit lane. That is going to hurt Kyle Blake big time. There's the pit crew. They're changing tyres. They're putting the fuel in. There's Jetto. Jetto will be past. Jetto into 6th place now. Blake Orban, he is approaching the final corner now. Kyle Blake is in the pit still. Could that be Blake Orban now into 7th, a gain of 2 places in the 1 lap? CMDR Cyrus is in 9th place. That'll become 8th, I'm sure of it. And there it is. They're both past Kyle Blake, sorry. And that is a critical mistake late in the race. And at the moment, Dredd, his lead is comfortable. It's now 13 seconds. He keeps pulling out the gap despite not setting the lightning quick times as the clouds roll in here at Mugello. Dark Racing, he's driven a solid race. Started 2nd, led for a lot of this race, and is now holding firm in 2nd place. Gecko 3rd place. Driven much better this week than he did last week. Haven't seen too many major mistakes. He's holding firm. It's 8 seconds the gap to Aussie Carter's, who is in 4th place. Metal Drive is in 5th. He's done superbly well. He started 12th, don't forget. He's a 12th place qualifier, and he's now in 5th place. And he's pulling away from Jetto in 7th place. 6th place, my bad. Jetto in 6th place. Solid race from him in the end. Well, originally looked like a lack of pace. Has been a lack of pace, but he's kept it on the track. He has not crashed once at all this race. And his 6th place position is the fruits of that reward. Blake Orban in 7th. Has also been a tough race. Just hasn't had that same pace that he had at Monza, where he finished on the podium. It was a shock result. but he's benefited big time from a few disconnects. He's passed Kyle Blake and CMDR Cyrus is still 2 seconds behind Blake, so Blake is not out of the wars yet. And now Blake Orban has got Aussie Carters right behind that Aussie Carters would like for Blake Orban to let him through. Aussie Carters would have wished this would have been a better race for him after qualifying 3rd on the grid, but by starting on the outside of the track, that has really hurt him. And there we go, that's Blake letting Aussie Carters through. Kyle Blake back in the pits. There's been some problems there, maybe even a drive-through penalty. And now Kyle Blake is out. But that has cost him a lot of time. He is a long way behind CMDR Cyrus now. 2.5 minutes behind. Dado Racer has been sitting in this pits. He's had to watch this whole race. It has been a crushing blow for Dado Racer, especially when his teammate Dark Racing 40 has been able to get himself up into 2nd place and has had good car speed. It's the car speed this team has been lacking over the last 2 weeks. But they've bounced back big time. They're 2nd place, best of the rest. They haven't been able to touch Dread, but no one has. Not a single driver has been able to get even close to the metronomic lap times that Dread has been posting in his Orica Nissan. As he starts lap 38, we've got 10 minutes left in this race. And if you're just tuning in for the first time in this series, the races, when the timer hits 0, it is the next time that the leader crosses the finish line. That will signify the end of the race of this ANZCRL Combined Racing League European Le Mans Series. Catering for the Australian and New Zealand sim racer on the Xbox platform. We also have iRacing Championships. We just completed round 2 of our NASCAR Truck Series on iRacing on Saturday nights from 8 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. And we've seen 2 different race winners and some very close racing in that series. So if you're on the iRacing and you want to check this group out, then we cater for your needs as well. Our bread and butter is this Xbox series. We've run 2 separate lobbies. We had 25 drivers tonight on the Xbox platform. The Lobby 2 broadcast is being streamed by Nurburger. He jumped in after he disconnected after qualifying. So when you finish watching this race, go check out his Twitch channel. And this race, after this, will be posted on our official YouTube channel, where all our races are archived. So you definitely would want to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So if you miss any of our broadcasts, you can catch up on it later on the YouTube channel. We're broadcasting every single race of this European Le Mans Series, Lobby 1, sometimes Lobby 2. And we've got another special event. We're running a full length Indy 500 on Project Cars 2 next month on the 6th of June on Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. It is going to be a cracker of a race. It was last year, came down to the wire. The first 2 places were separated by less than 5 seconds after 200 laps. It was mega. And I'm sure this year's Indy 500 race will be even better. But we've got 7 minutes left of this race. Dredd has been running away with things. Dark Racing 40. Solid driving from him. It's just quietened down over the last little bit. The 17 to 18 seconds between Dark Racing and Mugello. 16 seconds between Dark Racing and Dredd. Mugello has 10 seconds on his teammate and brother, Aussie Carter's. Metal Drive, he is 50 seconds behind Aussie Carter's. But don't discount Metal Drive. He pre-qualified in Lobby 2 and set a quick enough time to be promoted at the end of pre-qualifying. He qualified in last position, but during this race he has not put a foot wrong the entire step of the way. He's got himself into 5th place. He's 15 seconds clear of Jetto, who also hasn't put a foot wrong. Didn't have such a great qualifying. He qualified 8th or 9th. And he's got himself into 6th place. Which shows stock when your internet doesn't get... Oh, there goes Jetto, he spun it. Just as I was praising him, the commentator's curse has struck. But even with that spin, he's still done a superb job. He's got a massive buffer back to CMDR Cyrus. And he's hardly put a foot wrong, Jetto. And that just shows stock. When your internet doesn't give out, all you have to do is just turn the laps in, especially in these long form races. This race was 1 hour and 10 minutes in length. And if you just pound out the laps, don't make a mistake, don't crash, don't retire, you can keep trundling around and you can pick up decent points, especially when you pre-qualify in these top lobbies. Regardless of how many laps down, if you pass 70%, or if you complete 70% of the leader's laps, you get a massive chunk of points compared to the drivers in the bottom lobby, and that can really boost your championship position. So drivers like Metal Drive, Jetto, those guys, and that's why Whopper will be spewing the guys on the fringe when they can sneak it into the top lobby for 1 or 2 weeks out of a season. They can be pivotal when they're battling for championship position with the top guys of Lobby 2. The guys in Lobby 2, they could be winning every race, but if you sneak in to the top lobby and just trundle around and pick up the points, you're massively advantaged. We've got 4 minutes left now, so we're ticking down to the end of this race. It was a lightning start. We had battles all throughout the field. At one stage we had 3 separate battles, and we wish we could have shown all of them. But alas, it's only been... It was the battle between Dredd and Mugello, where Mugello was able to hold on for dear life for what seemed like an eternity for Dredd. Let Dark Racing 40 get out to a 10-second lead. So, but as soon as Dredd was able to get past Mugello and take that what was then second place, he was able to hunt down Dark Racing 40. Got right behind Dark Racing 40. Then the pit stops happened. Dark Racing 40 pitted first, and Dredd was able to pit afterwards. And it was then that Dredd really got a gain. He actually gained what seemed like a 7-second time delta. He gained 7 seconds on Dark Racing 40 in 1 lap just by in the pit stop cycle, which was unbelievable. Dredd able to optimize his strategy. We're yet to see any fuel mileage come in, because if Dredd will be spewing if he's underfilled the car and has to lift and coast on the final couple of laps. But it looks like everyone's learned the lesson. There was a couple of drivers that ran out of fuel on that opening round at the Bugatti circuit in Le Mans. And a similar thing happened at Monza, where drivers short-filled the car and had to short shift and lift and coast, try and make it to the end. You'd think the drivers would learn the lesson. And at this stage we've seen no sign of fuel saving, except for maybe from Dredd, who's been just cruising in the 1 minute 35s for the whole race since he made that pit stop and got ahead of Dark Racing 40. But we're creeping up now. We have 2 laps, or 1 and a bit laps remaining. As here's your race leader, the Oracle Nissan. He's already won 2 races so far this season. If he can hold on and not make any mistakes, which I haven't seen him make a mistake this entire series. He's been super fast, super consistent. That car has been on rails. He's been able to push harder than anybody else and not make a mistake at all. 40 seconds remaining in this race. So it looks like we're going to have 40 seconds, 30 seconds until the timer ticks to 0. There'll be 1 extra lap. Here's Dredd across the line. Now, so 23 seconds left when they cross the finish line, so you have to keep the foot in. He gets the white flag. It is 1 last lap of this Mugello Grand Prix circuit. Located near San Piero, Tuscany, Italy. Home of the Italian Motorcycle Grand Prix. One of the staples on the MotoGP calendar. Has hosted DTM before. Group C racing have even been here. And now Dredd has stamped his authority on this track as well. DLC on Project Cars. But DLC or non-DLC, Dredd has been a class above the rest. As he approaches the final few corners now, at the end of lap 44. The time has run out. After this he's got 3 corners remaining. And now 1 corner remaining. It's been a masterful display yet again from this man they call Dredd. 5-0-1. Around the final corner. He's been able to hold it. Down the pit straight. Flashing the lights in celebration as he wins 3 in a row in his European Le Mans series. That's your race winner, Dredd. 0-0-0-0-0-1. But Dark Racing 40 is flashing lights as well. It's been a mega drive from him. He was down and out after Monza. And now he's picked up a podium finish, 2nd place for that struggling RWD team in Mugello. He lost out on his brother last week. Made a lot of mistakes that he kicked himself about and worked so hard in his driving. But now he crosses the line. He's in 3rd. And he is absolutely chuffed with that. 3rd place for Mugello, and gets 1 back on his brother, teammate Ozzy Carter's, who loses to his brother. But a 4th place finish is super solid. And Metal Drive, I think he managed. Did he manage to stay on the lead lap? It doesn't look like he has. No, he hasn't. So Metal Drive finished in 5th. Jetto finished in 6th. There's Blake Orban and Sam Diaz. They're actually racing. This is 7th place. They're on the final corner. Oh my god, they've gone side by side. They've sheep stations now for 7th place. Who's got the best straight line speed? Sam Diaz is in front. They're trying to duck and weave. break the slipstream, and CMDR just gets Blake Orban on the line. So that's 7th place. Oh, and CMDR with that 1 second penalty has lost out, so Blake Orban actually holds on to that 7th place. CMDR is 8th, Kyle Blake is in 9th. And it looks like that racer actually got disqualified then, so the 50-second penalty, so something's happened, whether he's been fired into the pit lane at full speed or something. I don't know what has happened there. But that has been a massive loss for Dado Racer, and so unfortunate for that to happen. But thank you very much for tuning in for this race tonight. We really appreciate you for tuning in and supporting this series. Dredd extends his championship lead over Got Gecko and Aussie Carters. But I've been your commentator, Sato15. And we thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll catch you at the next round that I'm going to look up for you guys to give you. That is on the 10th of May. So next week, these championship will head to the Silverstone GP circuit for a 1 hour 15 minute race. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next round.